Welcome back for another OG Show Live. Mr. Randall, how you doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel Down.
Welcome back to another episode of Bass Fishing for News.
Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to, once again, the Bass Kayak Advance.
Brother, this is the final cast.
Another segment of Chasing the Tide, your saltwater connection on the Paddle Pin.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Feather and Fur. Your host, Brad.
Welcome back to the Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Crystal.
Hey, welcome back to Off the Water.
Happy Susie Q here with Adventures of Outdoor Woman podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast.
We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Eastport Marina on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, go to eastport.info. Yak Gadget for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com. What's going on Facebook Live, YouTube, boys and girls, listeners of the podcast? Welcome back to another OG Show Live. Mr. Randall.
Mr. Schiller, how you doing?
Great, sir. How are you?
Super duper.
You're so cheesy sometimes, my man. We got a great guest tonight, Marcus Kruk from Zippix Toothpicks. It's this one's going to be interesting, man. I've been talking to a few people about this particular product, and I know a lot of guys are like, "What does this have to do with fishing?" Well, we'll get into the meat and potatoes of that. But what's new, my man? What have you been up to? I know you've been in the woods. I've been in the woods.
Yep.
Any success?
You
came close.
I've done really good hitting trees. Anything but a furry critter, that's for sure. But yeah, I pretty much blew it the other day, as I was talking to you about. But you know,
it happens. I myself had a pretty bad blunder this week, and you know, it's a long story. That's for another podcast. But yeah. I will say, if you trip, you fall, you land on your bow, go shoot a few arrows into your target. We'll leave it at that. So, unfortunately, I had a little mishap over the weekend, and then got in the woods Tuesday night after work. And Brian should have 2 deer at the processor, and he's got 0 at the processor. So it happens. Yeah. It happens.
I kind of decided is. Before you called me, I was like, I'm not going to call you. I'm not doing anything until I have proof in hand that something has happened and it's possibly good. I was like, I'm no longer doing the phone call. I don't even. I'm just going to sit there quietly, just sit on my hands, just be like, nope, not going to do anything.
Yep. It definitely happens, man. It's why they call it hunting and not harvesting, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
But good stuff, man. Well, let's get to the man of the hour, Mr. Marcus Kruk from Zippix Toothpicks. Marcus, welcome to the show, my friend.
What's up, sir?
Hey, thank you, guys. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited to be here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we're excited to have you, man. And I got a little care package of, some samples and stuff, and I've been using these, and I absolutely love them. And, you know, just a general in your words, because I know what it is, but in your words, what is Zippix Toothpicks?
Yeah, well, but you guys were talking hunting stories. So at the end of this, I've got a story that I got to tell you about me and the business partner with Zippix. There's 2 of us that own Zippix, and I've got a good one, so I'll share it at the end. But
all right.
Zippix, obviously, toothpick is probably one of the oldest tools in the world. You know, I mean, it's been around a long time, pretty simple stuff. And about 1992, 1993, I owned a respiratory medication pharmacy. We worked with patients all over the country, COPD, emphysema, primarily Medicare age patients.
Okay.
And what we did is we provided them a respiratory medication. We did a lot of custom compounding in our pharmacy. And I had a group of pulmonologists up in Birmingham, Alabama, that said, "Hey, can you help our patients? They're smoking cigarettes through their trach. They're blowing themselves up on oxygen." And there was some products out at the time. There's a few. I think Nicorette had a product out there at the time. And the taste is what it is. It tastes like, kind of like nicotine. And they said, "Can you help us?" And one of the things that popped in my mind was, that hand to mouth, that oral gratification is such a big part of it. And
Sure.
what we did is I said, let's take a toothpick and soak it in nicotine. Of course, if you think a piece of wood tastes bad by itself, try it with nicotine on it. But it tastes really bad. But that was 1993. We've perfected the product since then, and we actually take a wooden toothpick, and we take 60,000 at a time, and we put them in a drum, stainless steel drum, and we pull a vacuum on the drum, and we introduce flavor. We've got 6 different flavors. We introduce nicotine, which is a liquid, tobacco-derived nicotine, and a couple preservatives and some sweetener. Pretty simple, basic stuff. And under that vacuum, and over years of time and trial and error, we can perfect a evenly infused wooden toothpick with 2 and 3 milligrams of nicotine in it to help people stop smoking, people stop vaping. It's an alternative, just to kind of get you going in a direction where you're not thinking about inhaling, especially today. Today people are really thinking about their health. They're really thinking about ways to reduce cost. Staying healthy nowadays is very expensive. We've got a very affordable product that people that are using vapes or using cigarettes that can switch over to get them healthy, which goes back to, paddle and fin. I mean, you got to paddle, and to paddle, you need the air to do that, right? At least when I paddle, I'm sucking a bunch of air in. And so we've got the toothpick, and we've been helping literally thousands of people all over the country, break the addiction of inhaling nicotine in your body. Of course, I've got a toothpick here. I'm chewing on it. Nicotine is what it is. It's a stimulant. It helps, with a lot of different things, but it's just a way we can use that hand to mouth, that oral gratification, to help people consider other options. We went live on the internet back in 2017. And even though we started in the early 90s, it was primarily just a product we had in our pharmacy to take care of our patients. And we said, we need to take this out to the rest of the country. And it's been a success for us. So we're excited to have an opportunity to be here with you and tell people about it.
No, it's super cool. And like I was telling you before we started, I've been trying to cut back on these guys, and it was interesting the way this whole thing came about. And you guys had sent some samples up, and we're talking about deer hunting. It's like, obviously you can't be smoking in your tree stand. That kind of blows some deer out of the woods. So I've been taking some of these up, and I'm like, and I told you, like, I've tried to quit smoking so many times, and it's like nothing works. I've tried the patch, the gum, all that kind of stuff, and I found myself smoking less with these because of the hand motion. I'm so used to, smoking a cigarette in the hand motion, and I think that's what it is. And with a toothpick, you can do the same thing. I just put a sweet whiskey in my mouth, which is tasty, by the way.
How are those? I was just looking at those.
Yeah. The sweet whiskey are phenomenal, dude. But it's almost like having dessert after your meal. That's the way I look at it. But, and you guys also offer something else other than the nicotine side. You guys are doing some energy ones where you guys put B12 and caffeine in them too, which I thought was super cool as well.
Well, we consider ourselves a healthcare company. We started as a pharmacy. Our whole background, mine and my business partner is a respiratory therapist. I've been in the pharmacy business since 1989. And so, it's what we want to do. And part of the reason why we created the energy, Zip Energy, is to, if people want to get off nicotine, there's a step down product, and it's a light dose. It's about 10 milligrams of caffeine. Nowadays that's, gosh, what is that? Nothing, right? I mean, look at some of the energy drinks that are out there and how many milligrams of caffeine they have. The difference is, though, it's sublingual absorption. You put that toothpick, lightly chew, lightly suck. It absorbs through the cheek wall through the mucous membrane, and it gets in your system faster. And so, that's the caffeine and the vitamin B12 is just a great transition product if people want to step off the nicotine. It's got 24 micrograms of vitamin B12. The best way to get B12 is through sublingual absorption. So we've got a daily allowance and really just one toothpick. But the Zip Energy's really turned into a product that people use at that 2:30, 3 o'clock. You're starting to feel you're starting to wind down. You still got a couple hours of work left, and they can pop that in. There's no calories. It tastes good, satisfies that taste. It satisfies that energy need that we need at that time. So the product itself is got legs. It can do a lot of things, but it was created to help our patients that want to get off nicotine, still provide that oral gratification, that hand to mouth, component of it to transition people to a more milder stimulant. And so, but it is, if you're not a smoker or a vapor or a dipper and you want to consider, just an energy product and not have all the calories, it's a great alternative for that. And we sell a lot of that. I mean, we sell it. It's surprising how much we sell. People that have even never done nicotine at all hear about our Zip Energy product. And we got some cool flavors. We got, you were talking about sweet whiskey. We've got the Zip Energy bourbon. We've got peppermint with a little bit of melon in it. And then we've got cinnamon, but the cinnamon's actually a 50-50 blend of cinnamon and spearmint flavor. But the cinnamon's the strongest, so it kind of overpowers. But it's just a great little product to pop in your mouth and to get a little, get stimulated and overcome those chips, right? You reach in there, I grabbed a bag of what was that white cheddar cheese popcorn. I think I ate the whole damn thing the other day, and it's like and how many calories did I consume? But sure, but it's a great product for curbing cravings or to step off of nicotine. But you mentioned smoking and how long it takes to overcome cigarette smoking. I think that if you pull up some do some Google. A lot of Google scientists out there, right? But if you Google it, it probably takes people about 15 to 20 times to actually stop, smoking.
Sure.
And, one of the things that, since I've been in the business a long time, obviously I don't ever claim to be an expert at anything, but cost has a lot to do with it. When you're faced with, a product, going to Walmart and buying a box of Nicorette or some of the other products in there, $50, $60, $70, and then you can buy a 100 pack of Zippix nicotine toothpicks for, if you're a subscriber, it's under $15. And so when you look at the cost, it makes some sense. And the reason a lot of people go back to cigarette smoking or back to vaping is just due to cost. You get to a point in your life where you're frustrated. Maybe you're going through some financial hardships. Life's challenging, right? We all know about that. Sure. And you go, hey, gosh, I could use a cigarette, or I could use a Nicorette lozenge. But a lot of times the reason why life's so challenging is because of money in a lot of cases. So go back to the least expensive alternative. And so one of my goals was to create a product that was a lot less than the least expensive alternative. So we would be there as a product, even though it's a very affordable product, it's an extremely effective product. And that's, I think, of anything, if I said anything today, that would be the message, is it's an opportunity to kind of wean yourself off of inhaling, smoke or vape into your lungs, and you can still get the nicotine or, the caffeine B12 and move on in a more cost-effective way to help you get healthier. And that's, at the end of the day, is really where it comes down to. It's all about health. It's all about, being there for your family, your kids. A lot of our newer customers are vape customers. These are guys and girls that have been, in college, they raged, they had a good time, and they said, "Oh, I'll never do this when I get out of college," and they're still doing it. And
Sure.
And then they have children, they have a family, and we know this because we do a lot of surveys with the thousands of patient or customers that we have across the country, and they tell us, hey, I had a baby, I needed to stop, blowing smoke in the house, and or going out on the porch when the baby's crying, and so Zippix gives people an opportunity to still enjoy it, wean themselves off, triage, another word, to a healthier alternative, and that's why we keep doing what we do, is to to help. And me and you had a conversation a couple days ago. I think you mentioned, was it your grandmother or grandfather that had passed away from cigarette smoking?
No, I actually I had an uncle that passed away from smoking.
Okay. And same thing in my family. I was a severe asthmatic. My grandmother passed away, and I saw her death certificate, and it was cause of death, cigarette smoking.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got out of school, the first job I had was in this field, in respiratory. And so it's been ingrained in me to my cause, right, or our cause as a company, is to help people find alternatives that can better their life, at the end of the day.
No, it's super cool, man. It's funny that you mentioned, like, people chewing on Nicorette gum and stuff like that. I work with a guy. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many pieces of Nicorette gum that guy chews a day, and he quit smoking probably 6-8 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I'm like, holy crap, he is spending a crap load of money every week just on some, Nicorette gum. I'm like, holy cow, like, I'm going to have a conversation with him tomorrow when I see him.
Well, send me his address. I'll load him up, and I'll take care of him. But it's funny, people that are, a lot of our customers are people that have had some health scares, and they're like, need to find an alternative. But when you find somebody that, a lot of people just enjoy it, and it's what they enjoy. They enjoy that, and they don't want to give it up. They're young, they're healthy. You don't start thinking about it till you get a few years on you. But this is just a way they can enjoy it and stay healthier. At the end of the day. So and it's a great place to have it up in there in a deer stand. But when you're turkey hunting, which is the story I'm going to talk about, that's you don't need anything in there when you're turkey, especially if you've never shot a pump shotgun. Mine was a Remington automatic. So anyway, I'm preluding to the story at the end.
I like it. No, it's super cool. Do you guys make a toothpick that's just flavored, like no caffeine, B12, nicotine, anything like that?
We have a lot of requests for that, and it's not that we have ignored it. It's interesting, since 2017, when we took the product on the web, and advertising or promoting the product is challenging. We're in an uphill battle, with big tobacco and a lot of the restrictions that are out there.
Sure,
it creates some opposition for us, but. We've introduced all of we've got a peppermint watermelon, a cinnamon, and a bourbon flavored energy, but we do have a lot of requests. In coming into the new year, next year, we're gonna take all the flavors we have, and we're gonna just have a plain toothpick that's flavored, and cool. So we are going to create that option for some folks. So most definitely, yeah.
No, yeah. I remember, like, as a kid, like, coming out of a restaurant, you'd grab like one of the peppermints and you'd grab a toothpick, and then it made you feel like an old man. My old man always had a toothpick in his mouth, and I'm just thinking, like, for those that may not want the energy or the nicotine, like a nice flavored product like that, like I said, that sweet whiskey is like having dessert after dinner.
It's good.
It's nice.
It is. And the sweet whiskey is 3 milligram. We do the sweet whiskey. It's 3 milligrams. And we have one called Sweet Wood, which is no flavor. It's got some sweetener in it. It's also 3 milligrams. And then we've got the mocha, the cinnamon, the peppermint watermelon, and the clove, that are all 2 milligrams.
Yeah.
And of course, you heard how the clove got started. It was one of our patients. Her husband said, well, if they made a clove like they made in my C rations, I would do it. So we made a clove. This is probably mid 1993 when we did this. And then he loved it. And he actually called up pharmacy and said, he goes down to the VFW all the time. And he said, a couple of my best buddies were in there and they saw me chewing on the toothpick and they said, what are you doing? And, because in there, VFW, I think now it's changed, but this is the 90s. It was as smoky as any place you can be, right?
Sure.
I was gonna reference a few places, but I didn't know the audience. But pretty smoky. And he said, my buddy said, if you could make a whiskey one, he would do it. And so we made him a whiskey one, and that's how that flavor actually got started, was because of his buddy and he also stopped, smoking. And these are World War II vets. They're, God rest their soul, they're all gone now. Most of them
Sure.
are. I saw today on TV there was one they were talking, but there's not many of them left. And
Right.
But it's exciting that we were able to help them, and create that flavor for them. So yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about like how you guys make these, because you briefly touched on it. You guys are making like 60,000 toothpick batches in a barrel, and then like for the sweet whiskey, are you pouring a bottle of Jack Daniels in there? Like, how does that work?
Evan Williams. No, I'm joking.
I was like, oh, we went high class here. We
went high class. No, it was so interesting how we originally started it. Like I mentioned, we would actually in the day soak them, and we realized when you're soaking the toothpicks, you really don't have that even flow. We would stir it, but when you're doing the kind of volume that we do now, we use actually a machine that was developed for the Chex-Mex. They take, and it's a tumbler. It tumbles.
Okay.
And we had to modify it to hold a vacuum. And so we'll actually, each one of our batches, there's 60,000 in one. And we'll pull a vacuum on the drum. So obviously there's 60,000 to.
Marcus is having a little signal issue. We'll get him back here in a second. But it's super interesting, man. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, Jay.
I mean, I think it's a good alternative. I mean, it's, especially, well, it's funny because like I remember you telling me, he's like, hey man, I'm up here smoking in the tree stand. And I mean, if you play in the wind, hey, that works. But no, I mean it's
here we go.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
All right, no worries, man. No worries.
Okay,
no worries.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was gonna say it's an interesting take just on, I mean, I've had toothpicks in my mouth at one point, and everybody had, and this offers something different. I'm interested in a few of these. Just from the flavors I was looking at. Yeah, I might be hitting you up there, Marcus, just to
I'll
try out some of these. But it's
you know a guy.
Yeah, yeah. No, but it's cool. I mean, it's a for people that like want to get that fix, or at least to have to satisfy that I'm gonna say habitatal. I know that's not a word. Webster's gonna put it there, but I mean, just like some the habit of the oral fixation, just having the movement. And because I mean I'm assuming, I'm not a smoker, so I'm assuming that there's something that just gets ingrained in you on a very deep level, along with everything else that goes with cigarette smoking, in general, as far as that goes. But I mean, there's something soothing to it. I'm guessing, because you see people when they get stressed, they go right for the cigarette,
Sure.
Well, you nailed it. I mean, it is a habit. When you get up in the morning, a lot of people will get up and get the coffee going, and they get their coffee and their cigarette. And And actually, one of the ways we really encourage people to use it is just get up in the morning. That first day, you make the decision to make a switch, and get up in the morning, smoke your cigarette that morning, drink your coffee, but on your way to work, pop in a Zippix, and then you may have a smoke break typically in a lot of work environments, people gather and they go smoke, and you may smoke a cigarette then, but when you go back to work and you can't, take that smoke break, pop in a Zippix. And so it's a habit that we kind of encourage to kind of ease into. And that seems to be the most successful. Kind of trans. So, yeah. But going back to how,
and it's
how
like
we
you
do
said
it,
too,
so
right? So you're no, I was gonna say it's like you said too, like even though you're still getting your intake of nicotine, it's really the smoking that's really hurting you. At least on the front end, on a vaster scale. I mean, that's the one thing you're trying to get everybody away from, and that's totally understandable. So then it's just a cleaner way of getting it.
Yeah.
It is. And I'll say this, I've had opportunities over the years. I've worked with some hospitals and had an opportunity to go into a lot of these smoking cessation groups. And, and at the end of the day, when you inhale, anything in your lungs, that's really a great way to absorb anything, and your digestive system is another way. It takes a little bit longer. Obviously, if you've ever seen any TikToks where people are talking about, man, I took a gummy, an hour ago and now I can't walk. It takes a while to get in your system, right? Takes a little while. But with the toothpick, when you smoke, you feel that nicotine. You feel it right away. And the toothpick is not far behind that. One of the opportunities I had in doing in going to some of the different smoking groups and some of the hospitals I've had a chance to go to that have been using my toothpicks, they said, we really feel the toothpick pretty quickly because that sublingual absorption, you can grab it. It's probably right there behind inhalation through the lungs. So at the end of the day, if you want to stop, inhaling smoke or vape or nicotine, this is an opportunity to, if you just give it just a minute or two. Oops.
Yeah, no, it definitely, it that flavor hits you first and then you feel the nicotine right on the backside of that. You got us, Marcus? This video's live.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me
technical difficulties today.
Let me drop them out real quick. No, it's like he said, it's like you feel that flavor first, and then that nicotine kind of gets you a little bit, soothes those cravings, and then it pops right back up, which is kind of nice, All
right, so which ones do you have?
Oh, I got a whole slew here, man. My man Marcus sent me a whole slew of samples. I will say the mocha is one of my favorites. It's chocolatey coffee kind of flavor. And the cinnamon spearmint is a good one too.
Have you combined two yet?
I haven't. I haven't even thought about that. Can you hear us, Marcus?
Hey, Marcus. No, you can't
hear
us.
There you are.
There you got us back? All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that me? Am I causing that, or is that just technology?
Your camera was working fine. I think your audio just cut out for a second or something. But yeah, I mean, mocha is nice, dude. It's like throwing a Hershey Kiss in your mouth for sure. And then,
really,
yeah,
that sounds interesting.
The cinnamon, I compare it to like a Fireball, the candy. Fireball.
Yeah. All right.
Like the little things we used to eat as kids.
Or it's like the whiskey we drink, sure.
Yeah. Well, the sweet whiskey tastes like whiskey.
When we're on a budget. It's like
yeah. When you pull all that air out of the drum with the toothpicks and you introduce that solution to those toothpicks. It sucks it completely. Those toothpicks are completely absorbed, and it's a blended solution, so it's an even amount of flavor. And one of the challenges with some of the products that are out there, the gums and some of the lozenges, you'll ultimately hit a nicotine spot, and it's like, oh God, what is that? And with Zippix, I tell you, if you buy a pack of Zippix and you get we like to refer to them as gnarlies, a gnarly toothpick that just tastes nicotine-y, you email me, you call us, and I'll send you another pack, at no cost. It just doesn't happen. But if it does, and I know some people do that and they're lying, but I still send them out some product anyway. So
I haven't experienced that, but one thing I did find is I'll have one in my mouth and I'll just kind of suck on it and then chew on it a little bit. And then when that and it takes some time for that flavor to run out. And when it does, I flip it around the other way and it's like a whole new toothpick. It's kind of cool. It's nice.
It is. We've got some beavers out there. They'll take it and chew it to a pulp.
You got any users colicking after that? That's a horse joke.
But going back to what you guys are all about. I mean, out there enjoying the nature, paddling, fishing. I'm a big paddler. I don't paddle and fish. I paddle for. I got a stand up paddle board and do some stand up paddle surfing and me and my son both do it. But we love to go up into. We did talk about this. A lot of these old ancient cypress forests, they've of course since been cut down, but a lot of these the tall sawgrass and all we paddle way up in there, and they go for miles. And so stamina is a big part of that, and any paddler, I don't care if you're sitting or standing, if you're up against a good strong headwind, you're sucking wind, and so this is a way that we can keep people where they can inhale a little bit better, bringing that oxygen to get home, get back to the boat ramp sometimes.
Well, not only that too, like one thing I was thinking about as well is, when you're on the water, I hate seeing this, and I've been guilty in the past, cigarette butts in the water. I usually throw mine in the kayak and whatever, but toothpick, I mean, you're basically returning the wood back to its home ground, after you get done using it, and it's not going to be damaging for the environment, the fish, things like that. So, I mean, it's an environmental thing too, when you're on the water or in the woods, nobody likes to see trash in the water or the woods, and that trash being, cigarette butts, chew packs, things like that,
Yeah, we actually get a lot of emails from our customers that say that, that it's, hey, I'm out here hiking, I'm out here hunting, I just threw the toothpick down, and I didn't feel bad about it. If you stop your car at a light, you just look down at the road, and that's all you see is cigarette butts, and it's a shame to see it. I don't like to see it, but yeah, it's not going to hurt the environment. And the toothpick, we don't make the toothpick. We actually buy the toothpick, but the manufacturers that we buy the toothpicks from, they actually plant trees to support, so it's replenishable. They're consciously out there, making sure they've got plenty of toothpicks, but it's a renewable resource that we've got. So it's a much better alternative than that filter that's out there, or even some of the plastic pieces and parts that you've got to that you use whenever you're vaping. So it's a much better for an environment alternative. We don't toot that horn too much, but I'm glad you brought it up, because I think it's real important to talk about. So it's that's a big part of what we are and who we are and what we do. So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No, I agree.
I want you to come down here. Yeah, I want you guys to come down here and go do some fishing down here. I was telling you the other day, we had an opportunity. We were way up in one of these old cypress, I don't know if you call them streams, or they're not really streams. They start off as a spring, and then they feed into the bay or feed into the river that feeds into the bay. and we found some. It was a unusual day, very clear that day, and me and my son were paddling, and we looked down, and about 3 feet under the water in the embankment, and of course this is only about 7-8 feet wide, very narrow at this point, and there was these logs sticking out. They're all lined up next to each other. They had sharpened, like they were carved, sharpened points, and it looked just like the old fishing. What are they called? Fishing weirs, I guess, that were used by Indians or used. Of course, this is in Mobile Bay, right off Mobile Bay in Alabama. So it could have been Indians. I don't know if it could have been, but they had the Fort Morgan down there, the soldiers, or where it came from. But I'd love for you to come check that out. And there was some beautiful redfish up in there. They were everywhere. I mean, some nice slot reds and some bull reds up in there too. So if you guys want to do some fishing in South Alabama, I've got you a good spot. So we'll have some fun.
I like it. We'll have to we'll have to get our buddy Dustin, who does our saltwater segment, to tag along with us.
Heck yeah.
But
Heck yeah.
So let's talk price point on this a little bit, because this is, you touched on saving some money and things like that and comparison products and stuff. So I know you guys offer a couple different size packages and stuff, like you got a 120 pack, a 60 pack, things like that. So just general, I'm looking at the 120 pack, of the nicotine version, and, it's $30. It's like super cheap compared to what the price of cigarettes are right now.
Well, that particular offering is
that's a variety pack. Yeah. You get a bunch of different flavors. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're thinking, gosh, I'd like to try this, what do I want to try? So for $29.99, that there's no shipping charge at all. You'll get each one of our flavors. You'll get the mocha, you'll get the whiskey, the sweetwood, the clove, the cinnamon, and the peppermint watermelon. And so you have an opportunity. There's 20 toothpicks per pack, so have an opportunity to try it. If you say, hey, I'm just going to be a whiskey guy, and you want to try that, it's $6.99 and no shipping. So we'll put a 20 pack of whiskey in and mail it to you so you can try that. So what typically happens, and we do have one other bundle pack. It's $18.99, and it's the popular flavors. It's the mocha, the cinnamon, and the peppermint watermelon. So if you don't want the clove or the whiskey or the sweetwood, you can go that route. So it's very inexpensive to just try. And if you like it, what we see is that, hey, I like the peppermint watermelon. That's our most popular flavor. Then you can come and you can buy just a 100 pack of peppermint watermelon. If you're a subscriber, then it's it's under $15. And we actually have a lot of our customers that sign up every month, and we just ship it out automatically every month, so they know when they're getting it, and it's under $15 for 100, which is equivalent to or 100 cigarettes. So if you look at that price for under $15, that's very inexpensive. I mean, 4 to 5 to 6 times less than some of the other products that are out there. And if you didn't want to subscribe, and some people don't, actually a lot of people don't, if you wanted to buy a 100 pack as a non-subscriber, it's $22.99. And so that seems to be what happens. I've noticed that if you're smoking a pack a day, you may actually go through about 200, toothpicks, a month. If you're, but a lot of will do just 100. And that's also part of a lot of the emails we get, that people are saving so much money.
Sure.
We have people that will send us emails. People will call us and just tell us how we've helped them. I had one guy about a month ago. He said, I'm able to, get a better car. I've had grandparents that say, I spend so much more time out playing with my grandkids, and so it's and of course, so many of the new mothers and fathers that had been vaping products, that they'll say, hey, I'm able to enjoy it right here, in my living room. I don't have to go outside, or I don't have to expose anybody or any of my family members to this, to the vape clouds or the smoke clouds. And so that's been a big advantage for a lot of people as well. So the price point is such that I wanted it. I knew that if we could bring the cost down, we can increase the percentage of people that would stop, inhaling nicotine. And so that was the goal. And we had to work real hard to do that. We had to, our facility is such that we have, it's a small staff of people that services thousands of patients across the country. But we're very efficient in what we do and how we do it. And that's a big part of keeping the cost down. We're made in the, I guess if, you're an Alabama fan, the great state of Alabama. I'm in Alabama. So, my kids both went to Alabama. Of course, I think we paid way too much for college. So maybe they should have gone someplace else. But I'm going to be hated and loved by that comment. But it's so U.S. U.S. made. I was looking recently at some of these vape products, not vape products, but these pouch products that are on the market. A lot of those folks are made over, manufactured over in Switzerland.
Sure.
The companies that are not here in the U.S. We have a strong military base to my son's Coast Guard, our facility manager, spent time in the military. I was in the Army, so we really do our best to service the military. Anytime we see any kind of order that you could tell the address, if it's military, I'd load those packs up. I mean, they get a lot more
awesome.
than what they spent, and so that's of course, a lot of our folks that are serving, they're in environments where they need to be alert, and they need to, I've had a lot of Marines email me that are out there and they're in harm's way and they can't light up, but man, they would love to have a boost of nicotine. My son was in the Coast Guard. He was a bosun's mate down in Islamorada, down in the Keys. So when he said he got transferred to the Keys, I didn't give him any. Actually, I went down there with him. I told my wife, I said, well, I need to help him get settled, and after about a month and a half, she said, "Are you coming home?" I'm going, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah, I was going to say Islamorada. That's a rough place to be stationed.
Yeah, rough place to be stationed. Well, as he was, he ran the boat. So he's enlisted and he ran the boat as a bosun's mate. And so they would get a 3 o'clock in the morning SAR alarm that would go off, and there may be a boat on fire, 15 miles offshore. And as soon as he would get in that boat, get his crew, he'd pop a toothpick in, and every one of his crew members wanted a toothpick. And so they were chewing on it. Interesting enough, though, it goes back to all the time about, young people becoming addicted to nicotine. And that means a lot to us. We don't want young people smoking. We don't want that. But these guys, a lot of his crew members, they were vapors. Matter of fact, all of them in his before he got out of the Coast Guard were all vapors. And so they had access to me. I would give them all the free toothpicks they wanted, but they felt the cool factor with the vaping. It was part of the culture, part of what was going on. And so these guys that had access to, free Zippix, a lot of them chose to vape, but they're young guys. They're, 19, 20, 21. Mm-hmm. We see a lot of people that are coming to us that are, in their early 30s, 40s, 50s. And so, if this could be something that they could look at now instead of later, it's just going to only, create longevity. They're going to be healthier, in the situation. But those guys are out there going off the, offshore to 6 foot seas to put a boat out of fire. It may be on fire. They can tell you the benefits of Zippix and how well it works for them. So,
That's cool. That's cool, man. That's super unique. Yeah. Good friend of the podcast and fellow host, Matt Souter, says, "I wish I had these while I was deployed." I believe he was in Afghanistan, if my memory serves me correct. I know he was somewhere in the Middle East, but
goodness gracious.
Yeah, man, it's fascinating how a little piece of wood can justify helping so many different walks of life out, in so many different scenarios. Like we talked about with me, man, I'm a hunter, being in a tree stand, kicking those cravings. Like that's been huge for me this season since I got these samples, and I've been using them and trying to figure out what's my favorite flavor and stuff like that. But not only that, driving down the road, just kicking that craving a little bit, you know. I drive a lot of miles. It's usually I average like 160 to 250 miles a day. So it's like I'm in the car, I'm behind the wheel, and every smoker, when you're driving, you just want to smoke to kill time, you know. So I've been picking up a toothpick instead, you know, about half the time, and it's really helped me tremendously. But you know, like you said, the energy ones, you know, rather than slamming a Monster Energy drink or a Red Bull that just absolutely tears you up, like I'd much rather stick a toothpick in my mouth. I'm not going to give up coffee. I will admit that right now, right here. Like, you will never take my coffee away from me, but
me either.
Be a great alternative if I don't have any at the time, for sure.
Yeah. That's it. And if you're driving you're driving all day, you're drinking coffee, you gotta pull over and go to the bathroom all the time, you know. We have so many truckers that use Zippix that you know, that the bathroom may be an issue, calories are definitely an issue. You know, that energy drink, I think, feels good to all of us in the first 10, 15 minutes after we chug it down. But then you kind of feel, oh man, gosh, I just drank all that. You're gonna crash. You know, the Zippix, the B12 is a big part of it too, through that sublingual absorption. I always say, hey, after lunch, pop one in around 3 o'clock. Pop a couple in. If you're driving, if I'm driving, I may chew on. If I've got just a 5-hour drive, if I'm going to leave from here to go up to Atlanta, I'll chew on, probably 7 or 8 to 10 of them, and it's, I'm not gaining any weight doing it. I have the taste that I enjoy. And, and I've never been a smoker. I've never been a dipper. First time I ever took a dip in was my senior year playing football, and my buddy, hey, and I puked my guts up, but interesting enough, I use Zippix now. I can actually be with my buddies up at the hunting camp, drinking some beers, chewing on the toothpicks. And then I don't have that desire I'm not addicted to go back to it. I don't know if it comes from the inhalation that sensation is so intense that you crave it, and that maybe draws you back to it. But the Zippix satisfies those cravings without the desire to go back. My son's the same way. He was, like I said, running offshore, chewing on the toothpicks. He'll chew them. When he came home after the military, took advantage of the GI Bill. Is going to just graduated from school, and now is going to law school.
Oh, cool.
I said, Dad may need a good lawyer one day, and so he's going to law school. But he has, he'll chew on them when we're at the hunt camp. But on the regular day, he's, he may not. So it doesn't seem to have that addictive quality that a lot of nicotine products do. That's bad for sales, but that's not what we're here about. We're here to help people. And there's a lot of people that inhale it that we can help. So it's and you guys creating this platform for us just to tell people means a lot to us. I mean, it really does. So we're excited to be here talking to your audience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I got to ask you this, since you like the toothpicks and you're chewing on them, what's your favorite flavor?
It's the sweet whiskey. There's no question. All right. It's a good one. Peppermint watermelon is also a good one. It's and it's a byproduct. Our first flavor we ever did was no flavor. It was the Sweetwood. Sure. It was a 3 milligram. You ever heard that old childhood? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. And, and so in our pharmacy, when I got through with that meeting with that pulmonary group, most compounding pharmacies have sweeteners in them, and just to help medicine taste better. And so we use sucralose. It dissolves very well, so it blends very well when it's infused in a toothpick. And so that was the first one. The second one we did was peppermint. And we had one of our patients, as I mentioned earlier, we'd actually had to call our patients before we could ship out their medication. It was one of the requirements Medicare required that we would do when we're servicing or taking care of these patients. And she said, honey, I love watermelon. Can you add a little bit of watermelon to it? And we did. And it was incredible the way it tasted. You know, people say peppermint watermelon. That's weird. It's a small amount of melon flavor in there. But that has become that's our best selling toothpick by far, peppermint watermelon. And we in the peppermint watermelon and in the sweet whiskey, we actually have a larger toothpick. Oops, there we go. We'll bounce back. But we had a larger toothpick. So all the toothpicks have the ones you've been using, that standard size toothpick. Yeah. But we do offer even a bigger toothpick on those particular flavors. But peppermint watermelon is my go-to when that's what I've been chewing on here, today. The peppermint watermelon, and but at the hunting camp, it's sweet whiskey. It's just what it is.
I like it. Yeah, it's better than smoking a cigar or a cigarette. It's yeah. But that sweet whiskey, man, yeah, it's like dessert. I like it. I like it.
It's a good one. You have the peppermint watermelon. Try that one as well.
I do.
I think yeah.
I think I've only tried one, and like I said, I tried. I forget which one I tried. I tried cinnamon first, and I was like, "Ooh, that's nice." And then I jumped on the mochas just because they were so chocolatey, and I've kind of been bouncing around and sampling them all.
Good.
Matt says he's getting some. Matt, use promo code PNF10, and that'll save you a few bucks.
Matt, just get my cell phone, text me, and I'll throw in a bunch for you. So I'll hook you up.
There you go. I'll send you a message, Matt, after the show. I'll get you in touch with Marcus.
There you go.
No, I mean it's super good stuff, man. It's like I said, you've really hammered home on it, man. It's a healthier lifestyle, and it's not only that, it's it's just tasty. Who doesn't like a toothpick after a nice dinner? You know what I mean? And having a little flavor on that piece of wood rather than it tastes like a piece of balsa or pine, it's definitely nice.
We've created a couple competitors over the years, and the FDA has they created some new rules and regs around 2007 because I developed the product prior to that. We're actually one of the few nicotine products grandfathered in, which is big for us. So a lot of people call me the grandfather of the nicotine toothpick, or my business partner calls me the godfather, which goes into the hunting story. I think we've done a great job. So without a doubt, my best friend. So it's awesome to do business with somebody who's your best friend. And I actually started off working for him years and years back in the early 89, 90, and we separated for a number of years and came back together, and we partnered up on this. And he's a big hunter. He travels all over, loves to hunt, loves to fish. I kick his ass in fishing. I had to say that. So, and he hates it. He hates it. He hates it. But he is a hunter, and so he said, "Listen, I want to get you on a turkey." And I said, "Okay." And I've never turkey hunted before, and so we go out on his land, and I'm actually in a stand, really short stand, and he's underneath the stand, and he's calling the turkey, and come to find out, that's I guess a call of love, right? When you're hey, what are you doing over there? Come over here, right? And I was just enamored on how well he's good at romancing turkeys. I mean, it makes me wonder a little bit, but. About 2 hours into it, I can tell by he's getting tired, and I see the turkey. And he'll today say it's the biggest turkey he's ever seen. A turkey's probably 50 yards away, and he's just like, there he is. And he's starting to come in our direction. and there's some tall grass, and so he kind of, like a cat, man. And I've never hunted turkey. I'm like, damn, it looks like a cat. Is that a turkey? What is that? And he's like doing this, and we've got the decoys out, and he's probably 5 yards from me, and he sees the decoys, and he flaps his wings, he's like, whoa, and he's huge. And being in the Army, big mistake, you go anywhere with a weapon, you should know you should be more familiar with it. But my shotgun's a Remington automatic. So, you load it in from the bottom and you chamber it, and take the safety off and you're ready to go. Well, This was a pump, and I got him in there, but I didn't
pump it.
I didn't set it up. So I see the turkey. I'm right on him. He's right there, and he's big, and I'm aiming at the head, and nothing's happening. I try to pull back, and I'm like, what can I do? And he's like, I'm going, shoot. And he's a little older than me. I'm almost 60. He can't hear worth a shit. So he doesn't hear me. And so I figure he'll figure it out. And he thought I was asleep, with my adrenaline's pumping. So he finally realized, well, I got to get my gun. And by the time he grabs it, of course, the turkey sees it, and the turkey just takes off. He gets one shot in.
Yep.
I had to say that joke, because I know he'll be watching this. That you did shoot and missed, but whatever. So the turkey got away. But so we were supposed to leave that evening, and we were both going to go back home. And we decided to stay that night and the next day just to celebrate. That turkey came into a field with two guys with two shotguns, with a lot of hunting experience, and left. So it was a success for the turkey, and we left being a couple of turkeys. So I wanted to get that in. So
I like it, man. I like it. That's great. That's great. That's about how Jay hunts turkeys, from what I understand. Turkeys always win.
Yeah, pretty much. Or they're always around when I can't touch them.
Turkeys win.
Yeah, I had to get that jab in.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome, man. So much info you dropped on us with Zippix. And like I said, guys, gals watching or listening later on the podcast platforms, go to ZippixToothpicks.com. That's ZIPPIX toothpicks.com. You can use promo code PNF10. That'll save you 10%. And just give them a try. Grab the variety pack. Like, all the flavor. The only one I haven't tried yet was the clove one, which is up next in the lineup. So
you'll like it. You'll like the clove. It's good. It's really good.
I used to enjoy a clove cigarette every once in a while. I had a buddy that would smoke them all the time, and so I'm interested to see what it'll taste like. But it's cool, and not only that, like, if you're not trying to curb the nicotine and you're not a smoker, but try the energy ones, man. They're just as good, and sounds like you guys are just going to come out with flavored toothpicks down the road next year sometime too. So I mean, be on the lookout for that. It's super cool and unique what you guys have done for something that's been around for so many years, and it's just helping people live a better lifestyle,
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be here and tell your folks about it, and help us, spread the word. It's a world that is a little bit of a challenge to get the message out, just due to a lot of the way that nicotine is looked at, and I get it, but we do have a product I think can help a lot of people, and we do want to, we do call upon people to, we grow the most through our existing customers. And that's exciting to see when you see that, you've got something, and so, and that's why we keep investing and keep growing and keep doing our best to get the message out there. And what you guys have done tonight by letting me come here and tell everybody about it means a lot. And we really appreciate it. So thank you. Zippix family thanks you. So
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
American made. That's always something that we strive into. So, support, American made products, and give these guys a look up, check them out at least. And hopefully you guys place an order and give them a go, especially if you're a smoker or a chewer or vapor, and, you're just sick of that lifestyle and you want to do something new and healthy. So
Cool.
Yeah. Mr. Randall, final thoughts, my friend.
Nah, it's very innovative. It's an interesting take on something that solves, I think, some issues for some people. Moms and dads, with kids, being in the field with the military, or if you're hunting. I mean, it definitely it's a different spin on your favorite activity.
Sure. Yeah, I like that. That. Yeah, man. It's definitely unique, man. He you've razzed on me about, my smoking habit and stuff like that, which rightfully so, man. And I don't know, man. I think I found something that's actually helping me versus something that I just feel like it isn't working. You know what I mean? So it's cool, man. I keep giving it a go, and I like it, man. And I love the flavors of these things. So it tastes way better than a cigarette. I'll tell you that much. So
but if you kiss somebody, they'll appreciate it too. So
yeah, man, no wonder my wife's happy. It makes sense now. I've been sucking on those cinnamons and then giving her a little smooch, and she's like,
"There you go."
Hey,
yeah.
Brian might get lucky after all.
You won't believe the request of stuff people have wanted us to infuse in toothpicks. But it's some of it's illegal. But
sure, I bet. Very cool, man. Well, Marcus, thank you again for taking the time out to sit down and chat with us and share the good word about your company and what you're doing. And it's super cool and innovative. And guys, gals, if you're listening on the podcast later, we'll drop that website down in the show notes for you guys to go check out. I will drop, if you guys are watching live, I will drop the link to the website down in the chat right now. So go check it out and, give these guys a follow, check them out, maybe pick up a pack of toothpicks, give them a whirl, and go from there. But Marcus, thank you again, my friend. Everybody listening, watching, we will see you next week. We're here every Thursday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. If you came in late, you could always go back, rewatch on Facebook, YouTube, or it gets uploaded to the podcast platforms, usually half hour, 45 minutes after we finish. So you could definitely catch it there. Next week, we're going to have our good friend Mike McKinstry back on the show. He just let out a huge announcement of his kayak fishing show is now going to be on Discovery Network. So super excited for our man Mike, and obviously he's had a lot of things going on, so we're going to catch up with him and find out the good news, the details. I'm sure there will be a little shenanigans between Jay and Mike as usual that everybody enjoys, so we like it. Jay's shaking his head already like no. Thanks everybody, we'll catch you next week. Till next time, tight lines, smooth paddling. See you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You can support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures. your Midwest premier paddle sports destination, go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigmasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com and fill your tackle boxes today.